Times Now senior executive editor Madhavdas Gopalakrishnan spoke to Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus on the situation unfolding in Bangladesh. Listen in.
Let me begin by asking you, at the time of this kind of deepening crisis in your country, we have seen the former Prime Minister, now Sheikh Hasina, leave the country. Are you concerned with the kind of uncertainty that exists at the moment?
No, we are celebrating that finally we came to the point with the jubilant crowd on the streets enjoying the freedom they finally earned after many deaths of the young people, young kids, older people, lots of people every day, every hour. So that's a celebration there. It's like a jubilation that we had during the Liberation War. There's a Liberation Day today, second Liberation Day. So that's the kind of festivity that's going on right now.
No, but all of this has happened after weeks of protests, over 100 lives being lost. There are police stations that have been burnt down. There are minorities whose homes are being targeted. Surely the situation from the law and order perspective is far from desirable?
You are looking at something from one side. You're not looking at all the young people demonstrating. They're getting killed every day. It's the government bullet hitting them. They brought the police, they brought the paramilitary, they brought the military, they got curfew, they have everything. And then in that you're saying that they are doing everything else. They're saving their life was the most important thing for them. While the government is shooting at innocent people. They have curfew days after day. They had the shoot to kill to order for everybody, from police, paramedical, army, and also the army itself. So that's the situation they have emerged from. They continued their march on the street. They continued their struggle to make sure they're successful. Finally, they changed their in a desperate way. They said, only way we can succeed, Hasina must go. So they became one point demand. And then finally Hasina has to go.
Right. One of the images of Sheikh Mujib's statue being vandalized is on the screen. I don't know if you can see that, but that was perhaps one of the strongest images. How did things come to such a pass that a national hero actually has this kind of vandalization of his statue taking place?
Yes, that's what I've been telling. I said, Hasina has made people's minds so bitter. They now even attack her father. So it's the bitterness which is accumulated among the people now expressing them, because finally she left, so they have to express that. So it is the fault of the person who created this environment for.
Right. From India's perspective, Sheikh Hasina, of course, physically present here in India. You've been critical of India in the past, but what are your expectations from India at the moment?
I keep saying that India is our best friend. Have the possibility of becoming a best friend, but instead they focused not on Bangladesh, they focused on one person. So their relationship became one-person relationship. This is a wrong relationship. Now that Hasina has failed in doing things for the people, so the people are angry at India because you are supporting the person who destroyed our life. So we have to go back, and I urge Indian policymakers to redesign your policy, whether you want to again find the person to support or a country to support, people of the country to support. This is very important thing, because we item after item we saw India is focusing on the person.
Right. But India's concern has arisen from some very, very real fears. And the fact is that the BNP, the Jamaat-e-Islami, have not been on very good terms with India. And from India's perspective, Sheikh Hasina has also cracked down on terror insurgents from northeast who had been using Bangladeshi soil, for instance, to regroup. And with her now out of power, how can India really trust the next government to be equally cooperative in that regard?
So you have to find another person to support? Is that it? Is this the policy now?
No, I'm just asking you, in terms of what India's experience has been, how would you explain that position to India?
I will explain your relationship with the people of Bangladesh. Let them choose their leaders. You work with the leaders. That's how the people are connected. And our relationship should be the best of the relationship. We're the best of friends, rather than being looking at each other in a kind of suspicion.
Right. Are the fears that there may be a rise in radicalism in Bangladesh, are in there any way fears that could come true in your view?
With Hasina gone, radicalism will disappear probably.
All right.
She encouraged the radicalism to encourage India to support her.
Okay, that's your perspective, certainly. But I must also ask you, Sheikh Hasina's government had also charge-sheeted you on various charges. Would you say that these were merely political cases because there have been graft allegations, etc., that have been leveled? Even as far as recently as February this year, the anti-graft agency there in Bangladesh had charge-sheeted you on a fresh corruption charge in a case for violating labor laws. How do you look at all these actions of the Sheikh Hasina government?
I have denied all those charges. These are fake charges just to harass me, because I am number one enemy for her all her life. So she continues to harass me in every possible way. This is only expression of one. There are hundreds of other things she has been doing if you look through the relationship between me and her.
Right. And while you spoke about, the protesters being targeted by the police, there's one question that I had asked you which you had not answered, sir, because we are getting reports of temples being attacked, of religious minorities being targeted in Bangladesh.
Yeah, this is again something Hasina feeds you so that you can get attracted to us in a negative way. So this is her people, young people are busy on the street. They're not burning temples. Many of these leaders of the student community are Hindu students. They are not all Muslim students. So they are the partners. They are the one working together day and night, taking shots in their chest. They are all religions. They're not saying go and burn the temples. This is just to distract you so that you can support her.
So are you completely denying that any minority has been targeted in Bangladesh? That these are all completely fake reports? That there has been no attack on any minority?
In a fair country, you investigate, you take the person in task in violation of law.
No, but is that happening or not? It's a simple question.
I'm an expert. I don't follow those things. I'm not someone who...
Because you just said that that's propaganda being spread by Sheikh Hasina. In that light, I'm asking you, sir, because there are a number of reports on social media. I'm not vouching for their veracity, but can we just brush them aside?
Don't brush them aside. Just go and investigate, find out the real situation. Because she says all kinds of things. She does it herself and then blame it to somebody else. That's the style she has been developing.
All right, Mohammed Yunus, thank you so much for taking the time and speaking to us here on Time.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.